In the program Kazakhstan International Vectors, International Relations, Political Views, Economic Solutions and Social Innovations. Further, you will find out why Asian countries have decided to unite. What economic difficulties will eliminate the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and why the SCO Astana Summit in 2017 is going to become historic. The 20th century was the century of Europe. The 21st is an Asian century. Xi Kosugi, master of Japanese martial arts. China is the second biggest world economy after the United States, but at the same time, it is the fastest growing. The country is the world's largest exporter of goods and the second largest importer. Therefore, Chinese culture, like the tea ceremony and the Chinese language, are gradually gaining more and more importance in the world. Since we are studying China, a lot of questions began appearing towards us about the need to share our experiences. Naturally, we all speak excellent Chinese language, we all have experience of work for more than 10 to 15 years, and some of us have even 30 or more years of experience. And we received questions about how to share the knowledge about China, the Chinese language, the mentality, the culture of communication, business ethics, and other things. This is why we have opened Chinese Language and Law School of Laoshi, where we teach the Chinese language and the basics of law of China. The strategic partnership between Kazakhstan and China includes several areas: oil and gas sector, cross-border trade and investment. This creates the prospects not only for the country as a whole, but also for every citizen of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstanis are now more and more going to China for study, which provides a lot of grants. And who has already been there, like some Kazakhstanis who have been studied there for some time, they all tell the same story. There is a great number of foreigners in all universities in China, a huge amount of foreigners. And they visit language courses, they later on become undergraduate, then masters, and even go for doctoral studies. Of course, especially crowded is the department which precisely teaches modern Chinese language. Premises for the creation of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization appeared in the 60s of the 20th century, when the Soviet Union and China have entered into negotiations on the resolution of territorial disputes. After the issues with the states formed after the collapse of the Soviet Union were solved, a lot of reasons for cooperation appeared. At the Moscow meeting held on April 24, 1997, an agreement was signed on mutual reduction of armed forces in the border area. Thus, the Shanghai Five was formed from Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, China, Russia and Tajikistan. On April 26, 2016 in Shanghai, an agreement on strengthening the military field in the border area was signed. Shanghai Five has emerged as a natural reaction of the Central Asian countries on the common threat of terrorism, religious extremism and national separatism. The main unifying factor was the civil war in Afghanistan. The Union holds summits in the capitals of the participating countries once a year. In 2001, the meeting was held once again in Shanghai and Uzbekistan joined the five countries. Back then was adopted the Declaration on the Establishment of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Attractiveness of the organization lies in the fact that all the members of this organization have stated that its main task, the main task of SCO, is to ensure stability and security in the whole territory of the member states of this organization. It is the development of economic, political cooperation, energy partnership in compliance with scientific and cultural areas. SCO was not created from scratch. In 2001, in the Eurasian region, have been already acting the CIS, the CICA Conference on Interaction and Conference Building Measures in Asia, and the Collective Security Treaty Organization, or CSTO. An important feature of SCO is that it includes China. In addition, the organization, apart from everything else, includes cost orientation. It was a very complex issue, a very scary question, the legacy that came from the Soviet Union. It seems to me the definition of clear boundaries between neighbors has served, or rather provoked, the confidence of all the states together that there was the development of regional relations, in my opinion, due to the fact that they tried to at least maintain a more open policy, being honest with each other. SCO participants do not have a cause for conflicts and strive for stable economic situation of each country. For the Eurasian space, it is important to ensure stability of the currency, stability of economies, and their resistance to financial crisis. One direction of the SCO's activities is to ensure the sustainable development of countries. There's diversification of the economy and common help. If you know the structure of the Shanghai organization, it is also the organization of investors. It means the organization of heads of states, governments, ministries of foreign affairs, such an inter-association. It is gradually being establishing economic components which should help in the development of each other. How Kazakhstan and China cooperate in the framework of SCO. New member states, India and Pakistan, new perspective. China and Russia have different opinions on the main purpose of the SCO. Russia sees the main goal of the organization in the fight against terrorism and extremism. China, in turn, hopes that economic activity should be a priority. However, none of the participating countries denies the possibility of economic integration. In 2017, the 6 SCO member states, China, Kazakhstan, Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, were joined by India and Pakistan. Observer states, Afghanistan, Belarus, Iran and Mongolia. Another 6 countries have the status of dialogue partners. SCO already could be named the organization of not a regional nature, but of the world level. No restrictive measures in respect of trade between the states are provided by rules of the organization. One of the main objectives of such organizations is the reduction of barriers and creation of conditions, and the fact that SCO has a site to address these issues at the intergovernmental level, and just the same role of the Business Council, Interbank Association within its competence brings shells, that is, to promote and to offer a solution to the problems primarily faced by business. Both the Russian and Chinese markets today are very promising for Kazakhstan. Trade relations with Russia are governed by the rules of the EAEC. They have simplified the process of trade, but the passage of customs procedures between China and Kazakhstan still creates many difficulties. Heads of states agreed to open up the market. Our president has struck this question to open up the market in China for the Kazakh products, but behind it there is another serious amount of work. The procedures they refer to different ministries, bureaucracy in China in general, is not less than ours. Therefore, a lot of work to be done, and I hope that in 2017 we will see some results in this part. China has become a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, apart from everything else, in order to be able to invest in other countries. Celestial investor becomes #1 in the world, and more than 90% of direct investment of China to EAEC go to Kazakhstan. As you know, one of the latest projects being discussed now is the economic belt of the Silk Road project, is a matter which is now being actively discussed on large scale, investing of China as part of the transfer of production to Kazakhstan's territory. This is a fairly large project, about 52 productions intend to bring this course, the arrival of new technologies, it is the arrival of new jobs, and it is the arrival of anything more, like the new model of production of business processes. The road Western Europe, Western China gives great opportunity for small and medium-sized businesses. Today it is important to improve the transport infrastructure, reduce the time of cargo ways to enable the business develop more actively. For example, owing to the development of electronic commerce, because it is not tomorrow, it is today already, and we understand that services commissioned by the goods on the internet, home delivery of goods, and general quality of service, it is certainly quite another thing. It is very important to develop this infrastructure, as I have already pointed out, the engineering infrastructure, transport infrastructure, infrastructure in terms of passing the workflow, there and so on. That's all gives an opportunity through such an organization as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization to promote more actively. Development of tourism, another prospect which opens up to Kazakhstan due to membership in the SCO. Experts from participating countries also are going to come to Expo 2017 to submit their green energy projects. For Kazakhstan, it is equally important to build relations with new partners, India and Pakistan. For example, India is also a strategic partner of Kazakhstan. India has an interest in a number of projects here in Kazakhstan, first of all, of course, in the oil and gas sector, but also in areas such as pharmaceuticals. After all, India is a leader in areas such as programming, pharmaceuticals and much more. Researchers believe that in the framework of the SCO bilateral projects are most successful. A large number of participants makes it difficult to negotiate and slows down the decision-making process. Another important point, I believe that we need to qualitatively improve the relationship between the Business Council and the business community, the government agencies in the framework of the areas that are developing in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization with a huge potential, and increase the efficiency of this interaction. I believe it is also one of our main tasks. SCO Business Council seeks to inform countries on problematic issues and business initiatives to line ministries directly to the governments of the SCO member countries. This work yields results and improves the business environment. In recent years, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization has become one of the most reputable and dynamic organizations of multifaceted cooperation, not only in the region, but in the world as a whole. And Kazakhstan is precisely seeking to achieve in this organization the further cooperation and interaction between the countries. In 2005 and also during the period from June 2010 to June 2011, Kazakhstan has already served as the chairman in the SCO. In 2016, the country again received the chairmanship. An important event, the SCO Astana summit, is going to be held on June 8 through 9, 2017, on the eve of the opening of the Expo 2017. Kazakhstan has repeatedly been the chairman of the OSCE and the CIS. Presidency of the Republic in the SCO is gaining momentum and activity every day. The main issues discussed in the organization today, the expansion of economic cooperation, including with the new member states. Joint work with countries such as India and Pakistan, I can tell you that finding a consensus here is the main task in the course of 2017. To learn to negotiate with each other, and this is, so to speak, a very serious mission involving a lot of work. But in addition, we have a specific plan of activities for 2017, and the implementation of the plan is, of course, already as one of the, so to speak, the work carried out within the framework of this. As I have already said, we want to focus to further simplification of procedures. It is important that a businessman who runs these procedures, which took place in 2016-2015 year, and by the end of the year 2017, the businessman will really feel all the changes. SCO is primarily a negotiating platform which allows countries to discuss any controversial and problematic issues. Kazakhstan's chairmanship in the organization is recognized by most of analysts as a successful. Activities of the country are an example for other Central Asian republics. Uzbekistan was cautious in the approach to participation in that international organization. The issue of strengthening financial institutions, as we know in Uzbekistan, was not quite open, if talking about financial structure, which means the ratio of the currency, etc. and the like. That is Uzbekistan. What we went through 15 years ago, we have to take place at the present time. In this regard, the experience of Kazakhstan is naturally useful to Uzbekistan. Presidency, of course, activates the country's specific activities in the framework of the SCO. However, Kazakhstan has always behaved actively on this side, offering ideas and concrete methods for their implementation. The SCO summit in Astana will be historic. In the course of it, the number of member states of the organization will increase from 6 to 8.